Welcome, everyone, to the DUB Success Series, where we cultivate your belief system for success. I am your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, and I want to know, do you believe? Do you?
Do you believe? I want to know. Do you? Do you believe? 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 I want to know. Do ya?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Do You Believe Success Series with me, your host, Y. Nelson Thomas, your lifestyle strategy partner. And as you know, we are here to cultivate your mindset and your belief system for success. Yes. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I understand that you could be doing so many things right now with your time, but the fact that you are right here, right now with me, I thank you so very much for that. As you know, if you have been following, I don't know if this is your first episode or not. If it is your first episode, then I want to encourage you to go back and listen to some of the other episodes so that way you can get up to speed on what's going on. I'm in the midst of a 100-day podcast challenge where I will be uploading a new episode every single day for 100 days and beyond. And I also incorporated into that an intimacy challenge between, for me and my wife. It's not that things are bad, but I have a saying that good is not acceptable, it's better as possible. And one thing that I would always want to do is make sure that I maintain that intimacy with my wife and in my relationship. So incorporated into my 100-day challenge also is the intimacy challenge as well. And I'm using the 40-day love dare as a guide. So if you are in a relationship, you're married, or even if you're not in a relationship and not married, I want you to look at the 40-day love dare, because this is something that has been helpful for me. It's something that's been a useful tool and a useful guide for me to help cultivate and take my relationship to the next level with my wife. And I'm excited to see what happens at the end of 100 days, because the 100th day of my podcast challenge and my intimacy challenge will be on Christmas Day. So I'm excited to see what will happen on that Christmas Day once I achieve the goal of uploading a podcast every single day for 100 days in a row. Yes, it's been super exciting, super fun, and I certainly feel the growth. And I want to encourage you, choose something that you want to do for 100 days or however long you commit to. It doesn't necessarily have to be 100 days, but just find something that you want to do, stick to it, commit to it, and make it happen. And make it happen. Yes. All right. So for those of you who are tuning in for the Love Dare, I am on now. It's day 19. It's 40 days. And once I'm done with these 40 days, I'm just going to start over. So that way I can make it through. Let me see. 40 times 2 is 80 plus 20. So I can make it through the Love Dare about 2.5 times. And I'm excited to see what the results will be on Christmas Day, just from sticking to this and being consistent and seeking to increase the intimacy. But anyway, let's get to that real quick. So today's dare is love is impossible. So you want to look back over the previous days. And I know that there are going to be some days that seemed impossible. And what you have to do is realize that your need for God to change your heart and give you the ability to love is priority. Because if you look at how hard some of these things are, the only way that we're going to make it through is by having faith in a higher power and praying and asking God to show you where you stand with Him, and also ask for strength to allow you to settle your eternal destination. So love is impossible. We know that it's hard, it's difficult, it's not easy. But if it was easy, then the divorce rate wouldn't be 50%, or we would have more people who were cultivating their relationships without turning their back and walking away. So we know that love is difficult, love is impossible, but I want to say in love, anything is possible. So look back over the last couple days and really see what areas you have struggled, pray on those, meditate on those, and continue to press forward, because with love, when there is love, love conquers all. It conquers anger, it conquers hate, it conquers jealousy, all of those negative and low vibrating emotions that we have. Love conquers all. So review the last couple days, look at where you are, where you stand, and see what areas you want to choose to improve upon and make the impossible in love possible in love. All right. So those of you who may be familiar with the the leadership challenge that I have going on, I'm using the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell as a guide. And within the 21 Laws of Leadership, what encouraged me to use this is I was looking at the leadership on a global scale, and there were some examples that I truthfully did not want to follow as a leader. And also there were some leaders on a global scale who were setting examples that I would not want my children to follow. So opposed to complaining about what somebody else is doing, my goal was to focus on what I could do. What can I do to become better? How can I be a better leader? And what can I do to set a better example? So I'm using the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell as a guide. And today I am on law number 11. And this is the law of the inner circle. And it says that a leader and a potential leader is determined by those who are the closest to him. So you want to get rid of those low vibrating, negative relationships that don't really lift you up. You want to get rid of those. You want to cultivate your relationships. When you want to help people who help you. You want to be around people who will have some type of return in your life, because you don't want to be around people who are always taking. It's a give-take relationship. And a prime example of that is I just left a meeting with my inner circle, and we're actually working on putting on some events. And everyone in the group has value that they bring to the table. We all have something that we are bringing to the group as a whole. So there are not any takers. There's not anyone there who's just taking away. There are only people who are adding value to help make our event the best that it can possibly be. And those are the type of relationships that you want around you. You want relationships that are going to build you up. You want people around you that are going to encourage you. You want people around you that are going to be positive and that are going to look out for your best interests. And you want to make sure that it's reciprocal. You want to give and make sure that they're giving back, because if you are constantly giving and you're not getting, then you're going to burn yourself out. And if you're constantly getting and not giving, then you're going to end up burning somebody else out and not cultivating the relationship in the right way. So you want to make sure that you are surrounding yourself around people who are giving, but also around people who you can give to and people that you can pour into. Because if it's just one-sided, that's not going to last long. That's unrealistic. So you want to cultivate those relationships that make you better, and then also you want to make your team better at the same time. Because if you are not cultivating your relationship and you are not giving to each other, then it's going to be impossible for your relationships to flourish and prosper on the highest level as they possibly could. So that's it. The law of inner circle. Cultivate those relationships by understanding that it is a give-take and not just a take or a give, but a give-take. You give some, you get some, and vice versa. And anybody that you have around you, you should be filling each other's cup. You shouldn't just be pouring out of your cup into somebody else's cup, because eventually your cup is going to end up empty. So we want to make sure that we are continuing to cultivate relationships by being in a give-take relationship versus a give or a take, and nurture those relationships that have a high return on them, because there are some relationships that you have that you may need to let go. And I know it may be difficult, because you may look and say, well, we've been friends for so long, but that could be part of the problem. Because if you constantly have people around you that are not elevating you and not lifting you up and not helping take you to the next level, then guess what? That could be the reason that you are not where you are. And one thing that I had to realize is that when God is in the blessing season and he's getting ready to bless you, everybody doesn't deserve the blessing that God has for you. So sometimes you are missing out on the blessing that God has for you because you have the people around you who are not deserving of the blessing that is reserved specifically for you. So I want you to evaluate your inner circle, see who's there, see who's around, and make sure that there is a give-take relationship and not just a give or a take. So I want to leave you with this. What is it? First of all, who who is in your inner circle? And then also, I want to ask you, what value are they bringing to you? And what value are you bringing to them? Because it can't be a give-give and it can't be a take-take. It has to be a give-take relationship where you are empowering each other. So that's it. I just want to leave you with that one question. Who's in your inner circle? What are you doing to empower them? And what are they doing to empower you? And if you answer that question and you realize that there are some people in your circle that don't deserve to be there, then I know it may be difficult, but you have to think about your mission and what it is that you want to accomplish. And sometimes some of those tough decisions that we have to make end up being the best decisions that we need to. So that we need to make in order to get us to the next level. So if you are realizing that you're not where you need to be, then I want you to evaluate all the relationships that you have around you and see if there are areas where you may need to either bring new people into your circle or take some people out of your circle. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I just got home. It's been a super long day, so I'm recording this podcast at the latter part of the day. But my goal is to make sure that I am consistent and that I get a podcast in every single day for 100 days, because there's something amazing that happens when you indulge in compound consistency. Yes, compound consistency. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I want to leave you with one last question. And you know what it is? Do you believe? Do you? Do ya? Do you believe? Yeah.
Do you believe? Do you believe? I wanna know. Do ya?